Al Ewing and Juan Frigeri pit the Guardians against Doctor Doom, who is taken to the cosmos to deal with a coming threat so big, Doom will do anything, including start an interstellar war with the Kree-Skrull Alliance to stop it. Al Ewing continues his really fun action-packed Guardians as superheroes storyline, and what better way to debut the team than having them fight against Doctor Doom, a classic supervillain. Ewing uses Doom to great effect here, and I love the whole body swap aspect and the idea that Doom is able to displace his mind from his body and into other people's bodies just through sheer force of ego. It's such an utter Doom thing to be able to do, and I love it. The seeds of the upcoming Last Annihilation event are also being planted as Ego makes his return and is quickly transformed into an insect egg, possibly hinting at the arrival of Annihilus or some form of that character, since we kind of recently saw Annihilus and he was kind of sort of killed. The book also being split into two teams is a pretty smart move, since one half is the more newer superheroic stuff with the fight with Doctor Doom, and the other half with Phyla-Vell and Marvel Boy's team is the slightly more classic Guardians, adventure to a new world sort of storyline. So it's the best of both worlds, and kudos for Ewing for doing that. Juan Frigeri did some fantastic and colourful artwork for the issue, making full use of the pretty big team roster that the Guardians are now, and giving pretty much everyone a cool moment to shine in the battle with Doctor Doom. Again, I really like their matching jacket costumes the team wear now. It's a great look, and it's kind of reminiscent of like a Nova Corps, which makes sense since the team is replacing the Nova Corps, since the galaxy can't afford a full-on Nova Corps at the moment. Guardians of the Galaxy issue 14 was a fun, action-packed issue that wonderfully balanced superheroics with more classic Guardians adventure stories as the book sets up the upcoming Last Annihilation. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Guardians of the Galaxy issue 14 finds Doctor Doom proclaim that the balance has shifted and something is coming, something that must be fought in defense of all. But even his power isn't enough, so it's become a moral necessity for him to take what he needs and claim the sword of space that only a king can wield, and no other hand is worthier than the iron hand of Victor Von Doom. Hulkling smashes Doom in the face, giving him a closer look at the hand destined for the sword as the Guardians rally themselves, knowing they won't get a second chance if this is indeed the real Doctor Doom. Hulkling summons back the weapon, knowing that the sword knows who it belongs to, and it's not Doctor Doom. Doom agrees with him, but it seems the sword knows him well as he knows himself. Doom says the nature of self can be very mercurial as something happens between him and Hulkling. Wiccan goes to check on his husband only to find that somehow Doctor Doom has switched minds with Hulkling, saying that Teddy isn't home as he stabs Wiccan in the gut. Wiccan, however, is fine, but he cannot feel his powers anymore, and Doom says that it's as expected, since the sword disrupts magic and all reality warpers have a touch of magic in them. Star-Lord attacks, but Doom blocks the element gun's blast, redirecting it at Rocket and blowing up his gun, angering the raccoon who spent hours building it. Gamora fires on Doom, saying that he should have gone for her instead. Doom thinks that it was a fine shot, but wonders if she is shooting to kill, since that's what it will take to stop him. Nova knows no matter what body he's in, it's them versus him, but Hulkling, now in Doom's body, beats Nova down. Hulkling says that that wasn't actually him, since the armor is moving on its own accord, thanks to the AI protocols that have been activated in it, saying that the armor of Doom is an extension of his will, and all that is not Doom must submit to Doom's will. Elsewhere, Phyla-Vell's team watch the Fire Cult continue their ritual, with Sister Talionis proclaiming that the time is upon them, and when the Dark Doorway is revealed, all will be transformed. Phyla can't see who or what is getting sacrificed here, despite the sister constantly talking about it, as Quasar knows it could be anyone, even the woman herself. She contacts Super Skrull, asking if he recognizes any of these names, and Skrull knows that they are the names of stars from the first Skrullian age, meaning that they are just myths about constellations being used to summon dark powers, and the 3 stars are the brightest in 3 different constellations above Skrullos, so there is a logic to making a single constellation out of all 3 of them to gain magical power, but it would mean viewing the stars from halfway across the galaxy. Marvel Boy knows the cultists have found the perfect planet to see the stars and gain old Skrull magic. Quasar wonders what are the chances of them finding the perfect planet planet, and Phyla agrees it's all rather a big coincidence, so either the planet was terraformed without anyone noticing, or it's mobile and can move. Since she isn't from this reality, she wonders if there is any planet that can move itself, as a booming voice says that there is, since he is that world, and that world is Ego, the living planet. The planet attacks the Guardians as Drax says that it's time for him to die again, but Marvel Boy tells him to look on the bright side, since things could be way worse. The rest of the Guardians meanwhile battle Doctor Doom, with the AI control armor making Hulkling attack his friends, constantly saying that he is an extension of Doom's will. Rocket tells the armor to shut up as Doom cuts up Gamora's gun, knowing that the Guardians can't hurt the armor without hurting Hulkling. He says that his armor speaks the truth and that the AI is an extension of his will, like his robots are, since they are his hands and eyes and work in the world. Peter says that he likes the robots more than Doom, as Moondragon telepathically tells him to continue to push Doom's buttons. She says that the armor has a telepathic scrambler, but she's been playing possum so it doesn't scramble her again. She does have a plan, however, if they can prey on his weaknesses. Wiccan continues to try and use his powers to swap Teddy's mind back to his real body, but they don't work. Peter tells him to keep trying since Doom won't leave until he's forced to. Billy says that Teddy's body is better to fight than Doom's own, angering him as Gamora tells the villain that Hulkling's body can do what Doom's can't, wondering if that's why he chose that body, since they have all noticed that he's stretching all over the place, just like Mr. Fantastic can do. Doom is enraged at what they are suggesting, saying that Richards can bend his body like a child's toy and he will let him be the circus freak, since he's got the intellect. He knows Doom doesn't need a stolen body to crush them, ordering his armor to look at him so he can change back to his original body. Moondragon taps into their minds as they begin to change back, saying that it's a privilege to see two minds swap, and Doom is dislocating his psyche through sheer force of ego, leaving his psyche nowhere to go but the empty body left behind. She taps into the psyche, redirecting it into a new body as Doom's mind is put into Rocket Raccoon. Doom finds this to be an indignity, not thinking that this will stop him, but Moondragon knows that even in Rocket's body he could destroy them all, but he would look adorable doing it. Doom tries to use his AI program to rectify the problem, but Rocket is in the body of Doom now. Doom says he's never defeated, but knows it's worth tolerating the joke at his expense to learn the limits of the body swap, since he knows this is temporary at best, or perhaps Rocket would like to remain a human forever. Rocket says that if he gets to drive a sweet rig like the armor, he's more than happy to. Doom says that while they joke, all the horrors draw closer to them and something is coming and will be there soon. Ego meanwhile says the same thing, telling the Guardians that soon the prophecy will be upon them and the sacrifice will be made. Quasar thinks that he's the god this cult is worshipping, but Ego says that he's just a herald, but the sacrifice will call him from across time and space, and he is one far greater than Ego. Marvel Boy tells everyone to grab him since they are leaving. He activates the Kreevan directive, quantum jumping them onto a ship called the Armin, which Marvel Boy explains is the successor to the Bowie, and they are orbiting the planet right now, and he was able to teleport them thanks to swapping places with a pair of his old Nega gauntlets, which are now down on the planet's surface. Quasar thinks that the other Quasar might be helpful now, but Phyla doesn't think so since Wendell is the heroic type, and it's too late for heroics. Down on Ego, the cult begin their ritual properly, cutting their hands open and bleeding into the planet, which cracks open as Sister Talionis takes to the sky, demanding the cult give their bodies and souls to the door through which he comes. The cult realize their mistakes, pleading for it to stop as the entire planet turns black, and the Guardians note how it's a shiny black, almost making it look like an insect's egg. Phyla wonders what's going to hatch out of it as she uses her telepathy to contact the other Guardians team, telling them what happened as Moondragon shares her memories with the teams. Nova asks if Doom knew about this, and Doom says he didn't know about an alien cult transforming a living planet, but the balance of reality has shifted and he knew something has happened, which is more than he can say for them. He says that this is why he's amassing power for himself, since the alternative is to trust it in those less competent. Wiccan wants to get him to space jail, but Hulkling knows that he deserves worse and he should be sent to a penal stockade for sending the progenitors to Hala for a start. Doom says that that wasn't his doing, but he took advantage of it. He wants to be in prison since he knows as Monarch theatrics are needed, since that's all it will be, since Doom cannot be caged. Peter knows that Doom is right since the Alliance wouldn't be able to hold him, but maybe something else might, assuming he's telling the truth. Moondragon knows that it wasn't him who summoned the progenitors, but Peter meant about him being a man of his word, which insults Doom since the word of Doom is inviolate. Hulkling reminds them that the progenitor attack was an attack on the throne, but Peter reminds them that thanks to the Panworld's Treaty and the 8x8 alert, the Guardians have jurisdiction at the scene, so he will follow Teddy's lead. Moondragon looks into Peter's mind, wondering if he is certain about this, and certain that it will contain Doom. Peter knows that breaking out of jail isn't a humiliation, but breaking his word in public is, so Doom will stay in Rocket's body until they have word on a deal, and if something big is on the way and he wants to stop it, Doom will be given the chance to do so, but he's going to do it their way. Doom knows he can't be serious as Peter drafts Dr. Doom into the Guardians of the Galaxy.